Okay, we are live. Let me get my community in Zoom. All right, here we go. Okay, we are live. Community in Zoom. We have an echo. There we go. All right. No need for an echo. One of me is enough. All right, let me let Miss Laura in here and let's open the chat. Here's my chat. Okay, I was almost not able to go live on YouTube. It was telling me I did not have permissions to go to live stream. There's always something. It's always trying to stop me. They won't win. I just need to get the verifications here on. There we go. It is me. Okay, there we go. All right, I want to be able to see the chat. So, oh, I lost Miss Laura. Well, I'm going to go live. There she is. She's zooming in. All right, let me get into the channel. Let me get in here on the chat. Let me turn the volume. I want to be able to see the chat. So, okay, there we go. All right. All right. We are in summer. It is getting warm. What are your temperatures, Laura? She's probably in the greenhouse, so it's probably like 210 degrees in her greenhouse and probably like 80s or 90s outside. We are hitting 90-degree temperatures here. A good season. Lots of fresh vegetables available to us, lots of fresh fruit. I hope you guys are enjoying those things. I am a seasonal girl, so I enjoy having the fresh foods from the garden. My garden is not going this year, but when it is, that is one of my favorite things to be doing. I like my hands in the dirt. I like growing my own fruits and vegetables. I like being able to know where my food is coming from. How many of you are in the same boat? Miss Laura says it is a beautiful 73 degrees outside. Very nice. Very nice. That is a beautiful temperature. And I am in a place that is just beautiful, very breezy. I was out on the porch, but the little no-see-ums and the chiggers were getting me, and I was getting like bit up from head to toe. So I decided to bring it inside. Otherwise, I'd be outside right now. Those good old critters of the summertime months. But share with me how you're doing, where you're at, the praises as well as the struggles. Every season brings different things. It's being in tune with our bodies, knowing what our bodies need, and enjoying the seasons. So often we concentrate so deeply on how we feel and where we're at mentally. We don't always get the opportunity to enjoy our seasons, especially if you are on a healing journey. And one of the things I like to do periodically, or that I like to do periodically in my healing journey, is I like to step back and let my body do what my body needed to do. So in saying that, what I mean is I was doing a lot of detoxing. I was doing a lot of supplements. I was doing a lot of self-care. Self-care is always one of the more important things I feel in life. It helps us to cope. It helps our bodies to renew and restore. And also our day of rest is really important. One of the other things I added to that was just stepping away from the detoxes, stepping away from all the supplementation and allowing the food and the environment and the seasons to be my nourishment and just giving my body a rest. And I wanted to mention that today because, you know, when we are constantly detoxing, sometimes our bodies just need a rest. And not everybody's aware of that. Not everybody takes that time because we all want to feel well and we all want the magic pill and we all want things to happen yesterday, right? I mean, that's just how we're programmed. That's how the world programs us. But I want to remind you guys to allow, you know, here's an example, here's an analogy of it. You know, you're stressed, your mind's stressed. You don't keep pushing it. Some people do, but you don't typically keep pushing it. You slow down, you take a nap, you rest, you slow the pace, you change gears, you do something different. If you're not doing those things, I want to encourage you to, because we are not meant to kill ourselves. And that's exactly what you're leaning toward when you keep pushing. And, you know, just as our bodies need a break from detoxing and supplementation, our minds need that break too. So what does that look like? That looks like reading a book instead of mindfully or mindlessly, excuse me, scrolling on your machines. Our machines are the devil. They are good for us. They have a lot of positives, but there's also the negatives. Changing gears is doing things that nurture us in a healthy way. Getting outside, walking. You know, Miss Laura, who is present here with me today, has been challenging our community to get out and walk, to move. Movement and walking is really good. But I'm sitting right here. I've got my tripod here because I'm doing a lot of recording, but I also have my watercolor books. I do a lot of things that give me joy and happiness and nurture me in a deeper way. And I think that our machines keep us at a surface level. And I like to take things deeper. I don't know if you can see this. This is just some of the mindless things I like to do. To rock. I black ink on rocks, you know, I mean, just sit and do things. You know, we forget that all these years before technology, people were painting, and what comes to mind is tinsmithing. I don't know if you're familiar with that, but if you ever see lanterns that have all the little holes in them and the designs in them, and they're really pretty, that was what somebody did by hand. You know, I am the kind of person that likes to do that kind of stuff. I have my Pap's Bible. I read it, you know, paper. You know, I do have my Bible.com, and I am a very technological person. I am a programmer and web designer by trade, so you don't get too much more technological than that. But I also like to step away from those things. And, you know, we need to nurture our minds. We need to nurture our bodies. And yes, you have heard me for months on end. And if you're listening to my podcast, you're hearing me talk about detoxification and all the different things we can do to detoxify our body. And you just heard me tell you to stop. You know, am I losing my marbles? No. Our bodies need a break. Our minds need a break. And, you know, as I said, we're all looking for that magic pill and that quick fix. But when we step back and give our bodies just a break, a week even, you know, 2 weeks, just take a break, just drink lots of water, eat nourishing foods, get out in the fresh air, get out in nature. One of my dear friends and one of our community members, Robin, just did a wonderful thing for herself 2 days ago. She has been on an extreme healing journey. This poor woman has had one thing after the other. God bless her. I pray for her every day. She is a cancer survivor. She had tremendous struggles through the crud. She had her gallbladder removed in all of those seasons. She is you know, possibly they're trying to diagnose and establish whether her cancer has returned. She's got migraines for a year, like a year and a half straight. This woman has just been being pummeled health-wise. And you will not find a happier, more positive person, one who just shows up because she just doesn't want to allow her health struggles to define her. And she lives in a place where one of Tyson chickens silos is burning, and her lungs and her breathing have just been so affected that she drove, I believe it's like 2 hours from her, to the beach, and she camped out. She's 65. She she camped in a tent with her dog. She endured some heavy winds, and the tent pancaked on her. She did it. Perseverance, persistence, not allowing our life circumstances, our health issues, other people's inability to see our worth, to define us and to live. How did she benefit? That one night, pancaked in a tent, gave her renewal, gave her renewed view on life, that she's still capable at 65, going through all these health issues, to do the things she loves. Was she frustrated and deterred because the tent pancaked on her? No. She was celebrating that she did it. And that is my personality. That is Laura's personality. If you are not like us, I want to encourage you to see the brighter side of life, the shiny penny. The shiny penny in the pig poo is how I've always defined it. You know, life is going to continue to hurl winds at us that are going to make us feel like pancakes, that are going to try to take us to our knees. And, you know, sometimes, you know, I've been taken to my knees. Laura's been taken to her knees. Robin's been taken to her knees. But you know what? When we're on our knees, that's where we start. We look up, we start praying, we start renewing, we start regrouping. You know, you're going to find me sharing health and wellness tips here all the time, but you're also going to hear me encouraging you, inspiring you, and getting your focus upward and not on ourselves. I want you to be in tune with your body. I'm going to teach you how to be in tune with your body so that you know when your body is saying, you know what, I think a week of rest, of just nourishment, nutrition, and no medications, no, I shouldn't say that, no supplements. If you are on medications, I am not here to cure you and heal you and to give you instructions that your doctor should be giving you. I'm here to empower you, to strengthen your resolve, and to give you tips that are going to improve your health. So if you are on medications, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is if you're detoxing like a mad woman, I do that. Because why? Because I know what I got to get out of my system. I know where my system is at. I know what's going to help me remove those things. But I also know that my body needs a break, and we can't keep pummeling it. It's like an eroding bank on the shoreline that's constantly getting hit with the water. You know, at some point, you need to rebuild those banks. And that's what I'm saying. We need to give ourselves the opportunity to just regroup sometimes. And I watch a lot of people, and, you know, you're wanting that quick fix. You're seeking that magic pill. You know, people are online watching all these ads that come across their screen, their email, their YouTube, their Instagram, and that looks really good, and I'm going to try that next. I've already done all this. Now I'm going to try that. Good morning, Mr. Ken. We've got Mr. Ken joining us while he's driving. We are just talking about taking care of ourselves and learning when to step back from all of our protocols and procedures, and to just allow our body to thrive on nutrition and hydration and the beautiful God-given surroundings that we all have. So, you know, being in tune with our bodies is really important. And that is something that I am going to continue to teach you to do when I'm in my breathwork sessions with my clients and my group sessions that will be following this. If you are part of our community, you have a discount code that you can use. If you are on YouTube, you can join me by going to faithledhealing.com/calendar or faithledhealing.com/group sessions. And you can join. I do on Mondays at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time and Wednesdays at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. It's $27. Why? It should be a whole lot more, but I want to see healthy people. I want to educate people on how to become in tune with your body. I want to give back. I walked out a healing journey that not only took me to my knees, and I almost lost my life through, but also I had to sell my first homestead. and start all over from the ground up, because healing journeys are expensive. And I want to give back to you guys what was given to me. During my healing journey, I had a lot of people giving to me. My whole hotel room was gifted to me for a month in Atlanta, Georgia, when I went to have my surgery. So I'm paying it forward, and that's what I'm doing. So please don't think that you're going to receive something lesser because of the cost. That's not it at all. You will get exactly what I give to my full session clients. I'm just trying to give back to people that are in the same shoes I was in. So join me, $27. It is available to you, and I want to be able to share that with you. I will also have some Saturday sessions coming this summer, because I know that that might be convenient for some as well. So, and I want to try to get as many involved as possible. In the breathwork sessions, I teach people to really hone in on their bodies, to really tune in on what is happening. And the more in tune we are with our bodies and what our bodies need, the better we can help it and aid it in our healing journeys and in our day-to-day, and in just providing longevity for ourselves if you're healthy. All of that is super important. And why did I know that it was time to just take a rest from my supplements? Because I've been doing a lot of traveling, which is not normal for me. And through my travels, I need to do supplementation, and I need to try to combat the toxicity and the levels of toxicity that I am incurring and enduring through my travel. When, for example, if you're flying, you've got a lot of people with their perfumes and their fabric softeners, and you're breathing in bad air in the airports and in the planes, and all the exhaust and the EMFs, and there's a lot, and I'm susceptible and sensitive to all of that. You're in a hotel, you've got all their cleaning products. You've got all the recycled air in both environments. You've got just lots of toxicity. And so when I travel, I support my body. I use binders to help bind together the any toxins that I might be eating or breathing, drinking, those kind of things. And I also am just detoxifying to allow my liver to be able to process all those levels of toxins that I'm taking in. So now that I am resting in a beautiful place, I need to just kind of step back and allow my body to enjoy itself too. I'm being nurtured by my surroundings, so therefore I am nurturing my body. I am taking in the sun rays every day. If you are not getting out in the sun every day, 15 minutes. You know, I'm going to be real transparent. I have had skin cancer already. I'm not supposed to be in the sun because it is horrible for my skin. Might be so, but the sun at the same time is nourishing and renewing for the rest of my body. So I go out, I don't burn to a crisp. I go out, I get sunshine, I have my feet in the grass and on the ground, and I am nurturing my body. If you are using sunscreens, I want to remind you to be sure that you are using healthy sunscreens without all the parabens and all of the levels of toxicity. If you are looking for healthy options, you can go to my resource page, faithledhealing.com/resources, and you will find healthy options for such things. Because, you know, it's kind of an interesting world we live in, that they tell us that we need to use sunscreens to prevent cancer. However, some of the things that are in the sunscreens create cancer, cause cancer. Same with if you have skin cancer, they give you ointments to help you support the skin cancer, yet it causes cancer. How does that work? See, for me, with a logical mind and a thinking mind and a researching type of mind, that does not make sense. Does that stuff make sense to you guys? There's something wrong with that picture, right? So that's where knowledge and power come into play, putting it into action, being aware that, okay, this is what we're being told to do, yet there's something wrong with this picture. Don't be afraid to go against the grain. Don't be afraid to think about these things. Don't just take what they say and roll with it. That's also a level of being in tune, but that's not with the body, that's with this. Use it. Use your mind. God has given us all minds. And yes, many of you have brain fog. If you start detoxifying, that brain fog will clear. So that's why we need even more not to put this stuff on our bodies, in our mouths. We need to be aware. We need to be the one making decisions on what we are doing and knowing what we need to do for ourselves. So when your body gets stressed, that you're doing supplements and you're doing detoxing, and all of a sudden you hit this place where you just don't feel like you're making any progress, or what was supposed to be helping you to feel good is making you feel poorly, it's time to stop. It's time to take a break. It's time to just step back and allow your body to do what it needs to do, and to give yourself a week or two to just be. Drink lots of fluid because that helps flush the system. We're supposed to drink that, 20% of the body's weight. All of a sudden my brain just dysfunctioned. I got to think about that a second. No, wait. Because I drink between 60 and 80 ounces of fluid a day. So I think it is that. I think it's 20% more of our body weight. So I'll clarify that in the community. My brain's not working right now. Obviously I didn't get rid of all the brain fog, and I'm human. I'm just like the rest of you. I have those brain farts too, but 60 to 80 ounces of fluid a day is a really good starting place. And you want to drink that because that's going to enable all of your organs to do what they need to do, but it's also going to help the liver to detoxify and help the liver to process any toxicity. But it's also going to allow your body to just feel good, and getting out in the sun and moving and exercising. And like I said, doing things that make you feel good, whatever that looks like for you. And try to stay away from your machines, but give yourself a week of that, and then get back into the routines. And please know, the medical system offers the magic pills, but those magic pills come with a full 1, 2, 3, 6-page list of side effects. And that magic pill, when it's all said and done, is not the magic pill. It has now maybe corrected what you needed it to correct magically. However, it threw something else off in your system. There is never a magic pill. There is never something that's going to make things happen like that. Maybe 2-3 days, but not like this. And I want you guys to start programming your mind into the fact that healing is a journey and that it takes a little bit of time. And when we do it right and we don't rush it and we take care of ourselves and we get in tune with ourselves, we have much better results. Isn't it half your body weight in ounces per day? Yes, thank you. That is exactly what it is. That is exactly what it is. The math was still working out at 20% for me, but that's not right. So thank you, Miss Laura. She is my brains today. She's often my brains, and I'm grateful. So half of your body weight in water. So, and so that depends on your size, and that's why it is geared that way, so that we are getting what we need based on our body's needs. So please do follow that. If you struggle to drink water, plain water, don't switch to soda. Don't drink coffee. Don't drink alcohol. Those things dehydrate. They also harm the body, especially with all that sugar in the sodas. Keep in mind, there are healthy versions of sodas out there. So you can switch over to something that's fizzy, but still is healthy. It doesn't have all the fructose corn syrup. It doesn't have all the sugar. Lemon water with a little bit of stevia. monk fruit if you don't like the stevia. Don't use your synthetic sweeteners. They're very harmful to the body, hormone disruptors. Add a little bit of Celtic sea salt or Himalayan salt. That'll help get your minerals replenished. Laura says magic pills will make your symptoms temporarily disappear, but usually makes the root cause worse. That's exactly right. And the medical system's magic pills will never get to the root cause. They are band-aids. And the medical system, the medical system has a place. There are a lot of good doctors out there. They are doing what they have been taught to do. They are taught to treat. They are not taught to cure. They are not taught to go to that level. And it's not out of their ignorance. There are good doctors out there. So please know that, but there is a difference. And I am taught to help you get to the root cause of what is causing your issues. A lot of people think that health and wellness and natural health is woo-woo. It's not woo-woo. It's what God designed. God has designed it so that we have everything in our surroundings that we need to survive, whether it's food, herbs, everything is in our surroundings, fresh air, nature, all these things that he has provided. I'm sitting downstairs on the porch getting eaten by the bugs, but it was beautiful to be out there. There is a wren that keeps flying and she's building her nest right above me. Don't miss the beauty of what God has placed around you because you're so focused on other things. Make sure you're taking time to invest in yourself each day and see what's going on outside of your four walls. I promise you, you'll be mesmerized and blown away. There are so many amazing things in our surroundings. I use a fizzy machine and add my own flavorings. Okay, I live off grid. I don't use a lot of electric appliances. So when it comes to electric appliances, I am totally ignorant. There's no better way to put it because I don't know about all the new gadgets. So what is a fizzy machine? Are you able? Okay.
It actually, you get a CO2 cartridge with it, but we've actually got it hooked up to a big one, and all it does is put the CO2 in to make the water fizzy. So a
Okay.
little bit more hydrogen, I believe.
Okay. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what it
No,
is.
no electricity
And
needed.
yep,
Okay. Good.
no electricity.
Okay. All right. So there you go. That's good. I'm ignorant in another way. I just didn't know. But I do also kombucha. You can do kombucha if you don't have gut health issues. If you have gut health issues, anything fermented will exacerbate your symptoms. So that's also a kind of a good gauge to know if you do have gut health issues, because you will have more gut health issues if you were doing fermented foods and starches as well. But kombucha, water kefir, I like the idea of what Laura is doing and adding your natural flavorings. A lot of times you can get concentrated cherry juice and the varying juices. It depends on where you are in the country and what stores are available to you. If there's a Whole Foods, a Sprouts, natural grocers, you can find those natural concentrations. And because they're concentrated, the jar might be $7, but you'll get a good amount of uses out of that when you're creating something like Laura is suggesting. And that is a wonderful way to create your own beverages and knowing what's in them. When you're purchasing something, especially in your standard box stores, look at the ingredients. Sugar is first, fructose corn syrup is first. One of the key things is learning to pay attention to your ingredients. And as I started this whole thing off on this morning is We're in summer. This is a great time to find um uh farmers markets and your local farmers. If you are not growing your own things, those are great places to start. And again, it depends where you are in the country, because I grew up in Pennsylvania, and every corner had a farm or farmer's market, and same with the butcher shop. You know, the butcher, the baker, the candlestick maker was on each corner. You don't have that in every state and in every location throughout the country. But if you do have local farmers, a lot of times they are more than happy if you stop at their place and communicate with them and ask them how they are growing their things. If they are growing organically and if they have abundance and would be interested in selling, you know, because sometimes they don't have stands, but they would be very willing to sell to the local community. Miss Laura says, is sourdough a fermented food? It is. Sourdough is a fermented food. It is the process of creating the sourdough is a fermentation. Sourdough, if you're not familiar, when added to your flours, breaks down your glutens and the enables you to digest those foods better. So sourdough is really, really good for you. However, as I mentioned, if you have gut health issues, and you'll know that if you are having gas, if you are having acid reflux, if you have hiatal hernias, if you have a lot of acidity, you will likely have some gut issues. Also, if your bowels are consistently runny, diarrhea, or if you're constipated even, those are signs. Those are signs that you've got some imbalances in the gut. And a lot of times, all those things I mentioned, when left go, will create leaky gut, which will then create a whole slew of autoimmune issues, other health issues, hormone issues, because it throws the whole body off. So all of that is treatable. All of that is repairable. And then you can work your way back into fermented foods, because fermented foods are very, very good. Sometimes gut health issues, and this is kind of backwards to a lot of people's thinking, is that it may be the good bacteria that is overgrown in the body versus bad bacteria. And it's just a matter of balancing those things. So really important to consider all of those things. But right now, I feel that if we can eat seasonally and enjoy all of the abundance of the things that are available to us when they're available, we are able to really nurture our bodies. Be sure that you're purchasing organic. In our community, you can find the and they may not be posted there, but you will be able to find them later this week, because I'm going to make sure. The Dirty Dozen and the Clean 15. That will be in the Start Here area, and you will be able to utilize those to determine which fruits and vegetables you can get away without organic, because they are washable. So I'm going to give you an example of strawberries. Strawberries are one that if you can't get them organically, I would advise not getting them at all, because you cannot and will not be able to wash them enough to get the pesticides and the chemicals off of them, and you will be ingesting them. So your soft fruits and vegetables are the ones that are going to be in that category. But the listing is going to be available to you if it is not. And it's an important list to go off of, because the cleaner we can eat and the better we can avoid the toxicities, the less struggles we have. Toxicity is what starts the gut imbalances. So when you get detoxified and then are able to rebalance the gut, you're going to be so much better off. Things like ADHD and autism also stem from gut health and imbalances. Here's another thing to consider. Dairy is another thing that can really cause health issues and imbalances because of all of the extra added things in cheeses. Natural flavorings often have MSG and a lot of other unnecessary things in them. So if you're going to eat cheese, it's highly recommended that you are doing organic cheeses. If you have a struggle with dairy and you get a runny nose and sinus issues from dairy, you can use goat milk and sheep's milk, and there's also cashew milk and hemp milk, almond milk, the nut juices that are out there, as my friend calls them. But those are other options for you. But cheese is one of those things that a lot of, it's just something, cheese is American, and it's like everybody adds cheese to their hot dogs and their hamburgers in the summer months, but they can be really destructive to the body. So, and a lot of people will say you can't afford organic, but if you look in the stores, the organic is slammed in the corner and hidden in the cheese section, but there is typically organic cheese, and it's typically not that much more expensive than your regular cheeses. So consider that. But we had goats. I was making my own cheese. I was milking my goats for the cheese, for the milk, because my son was high functioning autistic, and goat milk has a different fat content than cow's milk. And that is it's the casein that causes some people to have issues, not just the lactose, it's the actual milk fat. Or your organic milks and your organic cheeses are definitely the way you want to go, but there's a lot of additives added to cheese. So just something to think about when you're doing your hamburgers and your hot dogs and your cookouts this summer. But focusing on your natural foods, your naturally grown foods this time of year, there is nothing better than a fresh tomato. And if you have only ever bought tomatoes from the grocery store, you will be floored, because a grocery store tomato tastes like, when you were growing up and you might even still have it, maybe you do it. Somebody has a bowl of fruit in the center of their table all the time, those plastic little pieces of fruit, that's about what it tastes like, is what you would imagine that tastes like. There's no flavor. There's no, it's just a very weird consistency, the grocery store tomatoes. You eat a tomato off the vine, like fresh out of the garden, not the ones that they say are vine ripened, because they pull them off the plant green and let them ripen on the vine in the store. There's just no difference. There's no comparison. You eat a tomato off the vine, fresh out of the garden, you're going to have juice all over you, and it is going to have flavor like you've never, ever experienced. So if there's any plant I encourage you to try to grow on your own, it's tomatoes. I love fresh tomatoes, cherry tomatoes. I like yellow tomatoes if you have problems with acid and your body doesn't break down acid well. Yellow tomatoes, yellow peppers, orange peppers, red peppers. Usually the yellow and the orange are the better. They're lower acidic, but yellow tomatoes and orange tomatoes are really good, lower acidic value. But eat the fresh produce. It is just so amazing. And find your sources. It might take you doing a little legwork. It might take you going an extra 30 minutes to the specialty store, but I promise you, you will be healthier, you will live longer, you will thank me because of the flavor and the taste. So I want to highly encourage that. So my alarm is going off. We have breath work in 15 minutes. And today, instead of throwing everybody into breath work 2 minutes beforehand or 2 minutes after the fact, I'm gonna take us out of here today. Those were my thoughts and my tips for today. Do either of you have anything you would like to share this morning in regard to what I've been talking about? Okay,
Nope,
go ahead.
you've been, nope.
Go ahead, Ken.
I was just gonna say, you've been spot on with everything I've experienced and been trying to do. So you're perfect.
Awesome. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. Go ahead, Laura.
I just want to add to do one thing at a time. Don't feel like you've got to get out there and fix everything in your life, take all the toxins out and do everything today. Do one thing.
Yep.
Add a
Start
fresh
one
tomato. Well,
place.
I guess depending on where you are, just remove one toxin from your house this week. Add a salad in with all fresh stuff. Maybe plant some seeds, but just do that one thing. You don't have to do it all. You'll get
Amen.
there.
Amen. Good advice, Laura. Very good advice. And if you don't know where to begin, reach out to me. The last thing we want is anybody to be overwhelmed by what we're talking about, because that overwhelm and that stress is harder on the body than what you're already doing. When we add added stress, it's just not worth that. So thank you, Laura, for mentioning that. And like I said, reach out to me if you don't know where to begin. Not only am I an integrative health practitioner, but I am also a coach. I am able to coach you and guide you and direct you where you need to start, give you a little bit of advice, and if you're looking for that on a regular basis, get in our community, faithledhealing.com/community. That is the whole purpose of the community, is to just give you tidbits every day of things that you can do. And I saw Laura writing, and this is reminding me to also share with you, get a notebook and just write things in there, the tips and tricks that you find. If it gets confusing, because you're writing so many things, create like a little index or something to guide you through your own notebook, because the more we have written down, the more it is ingrained in here. And the more we have one place to go look for the notes that we have, the easier it's going to be. So making life easy, making life simple, and not overwhelming ourselves is extremely important. If you are in a place of overwhelm, pause, slow down, step back, and just start in one place. Laura, great advice. Great advice. So I'm going to say a prayer for us today. I always end on a prayer because, I live my life with God leading the way. And I pray over our community every day, because we all, that is our most powerful tool. And that is why everything is called faith-led healing. The other side of things is faith-led living, because when we put God first, everything else falls together behind it. So I'm going to pray us out of here. Papa, I just thank you so much for this day. I thank you for the sunshine, the birds, the fresh air, the nature, all that you provided for us, and for bringing us together, for bringing our community together, these beautiful people in front of me today. I am just so blessed by the people that you are rallying, and I thank you for that. I thank you for what you're doing in each of our lives. I lift up Laura and just praise you for the strength that you've given her to walk this summer, for the healing that you brought to her body, for her insightfulness and what she brings to the table. That's the other beautiful thing, is that everybody that is joining us has something new to bring to the table. You've given us all gifts, and I just praise you for that. And I praise you for bringing us to a place where we can all share those gifts with one another. I lift up Ken, and I just praise you for what you're doing to his body, the treatments and varying things that you are presenting to him, and just the ability for him to continue to grow and shine and share what he's learning and his gifts with the world. And I'm just always so grateful for their bright smiles they bring to this live session. I'm not alone in this. Everybody has something to share. And I'm just thankful that you've enabled us to do this. Technology may have its negatives, but it also has its positives. And through that, we are able to join together. Just keep us all safe, continue to guide and direct us, give us wisdom and knowledge and discernment, and just keep a hedge of protection over all of us. Guide us in our steps. May we seek you for each step of our day. If we are overwhelmed, it's because we're doing too much. We need to step back and just let go and let God. So God, we just ask that you guide us in everything that we do. And just thank you for your words, not mine. And thank you for what you're doing in this community. We love you, and we ask all of this in your holy and precious name of Jesus. Amen. Okay, my dear friends, you've got 10 minutes. So I will see you in breath work in 10 minutes. I believe we won't see Ken, so have a good rest of your day, sir. It's good to have your smiling face present. Thank you, and thank you guys for joining me.
You're welcome. Hey, Laura, and thank you for your daily walk. I don't comment on it, but it's inspirational, so keep it up.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you, Ken, for sharing that. You know, it's summertime, it's busy, not everybody gets to comment, but I know that people are seeing what's going on in our community. So God is good. God is present there too. So thank you guys for joining. If you have questions, you can get in the community and ask. Otherwise, you can email me at support@faithledhealing.com. But have a good rest of your day. I will see you guys, Laura, in breathwork. Ken, have an awesome rest of your day. God bless everybody. Love you.